So, Shiva, I actually read your story. Somebody forwarded me your personal profile, selling those PCs to starting a company and then creating a ERP for temples. And now you want to give back to society. As things are emerging, we did our own survey and we found out, obviously, the SMEs have scaling up challenges, but scaling up challenges are in various facets, actually. We are hearing hiring people, talking about story, retaining them is a big thing, actually. And when you take over a business, people leave, actually, start something. Also, what we found out, a lot of people said that in scaling, I need access to finance, actually. And something you're trying to solve it in your own way by pulling together all the angels, actually. If I ask you, if any of these people approach you, that can you fund my business? Can you fund it for us to grow, actually? What is the one thing you look in a business which says, yes, I'm going to fund your business and I'll help you grow with the finances I can put in?
Yeah, thanks for the right question. See, being a person, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. So then recently, last 2 years, I'm into this ecosystem building. I can't say it's a business, it's a social initiative where the core idea is to bring in local established HNIs and leaders and bring them into a platform as investors, as mentors, as guides. And on the other side, bringing in the startups, the early stage startups, and trying to help them out to take their first step, maybe the seed level we used to say. So I am into the space where the early stage, but most of the audience here are the next level, the level 2 or level 3. But being an entrepreneur, who faced or still facing, because I do still run my companies, in terms of finance or whatever the thing. But I would like to answer very straight to the moderator. See, what we look at as a seed support, I don't know to use the word funding, because funding is often used as a buzzword or kind of a fashion word. As Dr. Velumani said and Ms. Hema said, funding is just one single element of the overall process, and that's not the everything. Unfortunately, today's startups think that if there is no funding, the end of the dream has come. It's not the truth. It's very unfortunate situation is there with the entrepreneurs. But again, I'm sorry that I'm just traveling around some bits and pieces to give a more value to my answer. So one thing that we look at, or the investors look at with the entrepreneur, whether it's a startup or a scaled up, because there are funding opportunities available for SMEs like VCs or PEs and so and so forth. One thing is, today, we have to, understand one philosophical thing or business philosophy. I just try to explain it in just 30 seconds to 1 minute. So if you look at the world economy, till 1930s, it was predominantly, driven by the agriculture. So agriculture was the driving factor for the world economy. Then after 1930s and during the world wars and mainly after the Second World War, the economy, the focus of economy or the driving factor of the economy slowly shifted to agriculture, to mechanized industry. Everything was driven by machines. So machines ruled the world. So if it is an industry, it has to be a machinery-oriented factory or something like that. So the world economy slowly shifted to agriculture. Agriculture was there, and it will still there. But the focus shifted to machines, machine-based economy. And after 1970s, if you look at the history or the current happenings, the philosophy or the driving factor shifted from machinery-based industry to knowledge-based industry. So whatever the knowledge element, what Hema does or what Dr. Velumani does or what the Redbus does or Flipkart does, everything is a manifestation of knowledge. If you look at any technological excellence or the technological outcome, it is a manifestation of knowledge. So it doesn't mean, knowledge doesn't mean that you have to be in IT. It can be in automobile, it can be in anything, right? So that innovation, technology is one aspect and innovation is one aspect. So again, to go into a focused point to answer his question, we look at the business model, how innovative it is. So even a normal also SME can think of tweaking his or her business model, to attract investors or to attract markets, new market, because that is the major challenge that we see. And most of the SMEs, they don't look at their business model. They think that they are lacking finance, they are lacking marketing abilities, they are lacking HR abilities, all those things. But they are not looking at whether their business model is up to date. Or the thing is, if you are following the same business model where 50 or 60 years back, the same model was followed in your particular domain, that will not work out. For today's industry, because of the influence of the knowledge element, the business model has to be tweaked and it has to be analyzed properly, and proper expert input has to be given. And this business model is one major element that we are looking at. And what this business model will make, the primary expectation is, if you could make a pioneership. For example, Ms. Hema is a e-bike pioneer. Though there are a couple of players, the pioneership is the most expected outcome out of your business model. I can just ask one simple question where most of the forums people will ask. See, who is the first person landed on the moon? Who? Neil Armstrong. Who is the second? Who? Yeah, only few people know who is the second. Who was the second, right? So that is the power of pioneership. So your business model, your innovation element should lead to the pioneership in your category, or you have to create a subcategory. So these are a bit complex elements, but overall we are looking at three aspects as investors. One is the entrepreneur, the commitment level, the domain expertise. These are personal elements. The number two, or the primary factor, is the business model innovation. How far you are powerful with your business model. Business model has different elements. So, but when it comes to investments, we look at that for the startup, even for scaled up. Slightly scaled up business also. So this is the major factor that I would like to say.
Okay, thanks. So, Dr. Velumani, you wanted to say something?
Funds is a funny subject. You look for funds, no one will give it. You refuse it, they will not allow you to sleep. This, I'm sure the banker also will agree with me, right? The first source of funds should be first you. You should have some money, without which if you start a business, probably you are a bit of overventuring. The next is your spouse. The next is your in-laws. The next is your family members who are related to you, who trust you. And then is your friends. Then use your banker. If all are exhausted, then go for a outside funding. Otherwise, he will wonder, nobody is trusting him, why should I trust him? Please note, if you have put in 2 crores, they will think I will also put in 2 crores. If you have put in 2 lakhs, you want them to put 20 crores, I don't think any investor would be keen to put in money. Please keep that in the mind. The next one is a good project does not need funds, because the project generates funds. As a personal individual, I have never borrowed in my life. As a company, I have never borrowed for last 20 years. My money is with the banker for last 10 years. Why I say that? Good projects do not need money. And if the project is not good, nobody is going to give you money. It's a very, very funny situation. You must analyze it. And also, if you go to their door, you have a different terms. If they come to your door, there is a very different terms. Please handle it intelligently. Don't dilute unnecessarily. Don't look for funds unnecessarily. For 90% of the businesses, funds is not the problem. Problems is elsewhere. And you want all elsewhere problems to be sorted out by funds. Please note, that could become totally counterproductive in your mission, and funds management has to be very intelligently done.
I agree with you.
And I have a lot of funds. I will invest in all such businesses who do not need any fund.
Thank you very much. So one more source of fund in case you need fund from. So Dr. Velumani can do that actually. You want to add? Sure, go ahead.
I just wanted to add on to Dr. what Velumani said, is that, see, sometimes money is a myth, you know. When I had started this manufacturing company, everyone discouraged me, including my mother. What the heck are you doing? Life is so comfortable. Why do you want to do this? I sold my house in Singapore and invested my money of 20 crores in this venture. And after I came to Coimbatore, I just felt that, access to funds were all available. It's just that the business model has to work.
True.
The moment the business model works, then you don't need money.
True.
So I think that, completely in sync, because if you don't put your own money and go with a business plan to an investor and asking for money, they will not even trust the business model, you know. That's the first point. The second point is that I also believe that there's something called good money and bad money. I raised good money continuously from industrialists and all that for specific purpose and mentorship. Because I'm new to manufacturing. I need to know the tricks and I want to learn quicker. I want to do things that's faster, better, cheaper. And that can only come with mentors who have already done it.
True.
Yeah?
Very, very true.
So I think these are the two things, perspectives that has really helped me throughout.
So it's right time. Yeah. It's a right time to bring Anand you in. Actually, interesting background. I'm sure you can speak on behalf of Bank of Baroda, but I expect that you're going to speak on behalf of larger fraternity. Actually, so I'm gonna ask the same question. But I know bank is not PE, bank is not venture capitalist, but bank has played a significant role in India, right, to ensure that people have access to fund, actually. So there are a lot of, we have had that discussion, we'll continue that, but there are a lot of people listening here is that, okay, I don't want to dilute the equity, but what role a financial institute like yours can play to scale this business, actually? And when will you say, okay, I'm ready to step in?
Actually, I would like to share some of my thoughts. Actually, I have grown up during 80s, when at the time banking was a difficult phenomena. To get funds was a different, it was really, people used to scared to go to banks. After my child accountancy, I started just sharing few this thing of my thoughts. Actually, I started my career with L&T. Then, there also in the early 90s, there also in that, when I used to deal with as a finance person, I used to find it difficult to challenges to handle the banks. Then, actually thought why the banking should change. We should be a partner. Actually banking is nothing but, if you see the entire world, banks are the partners for the business growth of any entrepreneur. Actually, I am happy that banks have changed in 80s to 90s, 90s to 2000, in the decade to decade, banks are changed. Now, if you see in the mid of this 2015 and 2016, every year there is a phenomenal change in the banking side also. Actually, once our Prime Minister told once in US, have you seen a banker going to the people to open an account? It was not like that. People used to, in 80s also, the bankers used to go to the people and to open accounts, but it was not very significant. But now we run, we go, we meet, we shoulder our hand with each and every entrepreneur, even individual. We would like to see we wish they should perform. Then only I have a selfish interest as a banker. Our country should progress. That our country, we should be proud of being an Indian, and we should see how, as a banker, we can extend our support. We always look, and actually whatever we are funding is not going to go waste. Now today, if you see the banking sector is in a different state. The NPS are mounting, but the banks are determined. We are not going to look back. Yes, we are going to recover our money, whatever way, but we are going to make sure, from banking fraternity, I am assuring all the entrepreneurs that we would like to stand by you, but only one thing, small few this thing we would like to share. Please instill the confidence on yourself. You can do that. If you have a confidence, you are not going to look back. Actually, I mean, even in my daily phase, I meet good customer and with whom I lost money. But I don't want to look back and going and everywhere I'm going to lose my money. My means my bank's money. It is going to come back. But we would like to extend where the confidence is there, where you can perform. Banks are going to stand by and we are going to give you the solutions also. We are your partners. We would like to and would love to be with you and that it will be the.
Do me a favor, please leave your card with Anand. Okay, and he's gonna reach out to you guys how to fund your business. Actually, that's my promise to all of you.
Okay, thank you, very nice. And see the encouragement actually, because I know that I track GDP very closely actually, and I hear about a lot of the non-performing assets actually. Despite that, if the bank is so committed to ensure that, because you're going to have setbacks actually, and whatever becomes a non-performing actually, if you continue, some of them may become a performing and may scale actually. But the commitment you are exuding here is that we are with entrepreneurs, we are with Scale Up, we are happy to help them. I think that's a good thing actually.
Yes, we are also one of the entrepreneurs. We are the business people because we must know the business, what they are doing. Actually, an entrepreneur may be doing one single business, but I have dealt with the Mukesh Ambani to all this thing from the smallest farmer. Actually, I dealt the Reliance Group and I have dealt with the farmer to whom I have lent 1,000 rupees in Bihar. That too, I I belong to Andhra. But I went to Bihar and I worked in a small village where I used to go every day morning 5:30. I used to be at their village. I used to sit with them. I used to have my cup of tea with the villagers. That's what I instilled confidence. The confidence is very important. I never lost this thing, actually, that I don't know the language. But I shouldered them, I made them, I recovered my money, I have given them money. That Bihar is I found very interesting. That is a very fertile land I found. But we believe, we move across the country. But one thing I would like to say, this place where we are working is my place. That is the first thing all bankers would like to have the same thoughts. It is my place. It is my place should prosper. That is our mission and we would not look back for that.
Yeah, we have to solve a big challenge. We need to make these Scale Up successful. We need to ensure that there are better role models, more role models like these actually whom they can follow, and the support is there actually. Devika, question for you actually, and I'm going to do a very gender-specific question because I think you would see that recently when Stand Up India was announced actually, there was a special focus around women entrepreneurship actually. And then I'm going to come to you also, ma'am. From your perspective, as a woman, do you face specific challenges while growing the business? If yes, what it is? And how did you solve it?
I think, we are in a different generation altogether. I think we should just come out of, all this deprivation and all that. We are in a different world altogether. Where are women deprived right now? There's absolutely no problem at all. Wherever I went, people gave open welcome. Women are not deprived at all of anything. I think this question keeps coming to me again and again because I'm in Coimbatore for the last 8 years. I'm actually appalled to see that people are still having those thoughts. Because there's not a glass ceiling at all. It's all gone. I think we are made women, for a purpose. And as long as we realize that purpose and we are able to manage that purpose very well, I think we can make it very big. I don't think there is a problem at all. Except that when I go to Delhi and all that, recently I was in a meeting. In manufacturing, there are not many women at all. 30 gentlemen sitting, I'm only lady. The man does not serve you coffee. Okay? So that's the problem you have. But you have to just deal with that, right? And I think at the end of the day, gender does not matter in business. Your business plan does. Your profitability does. Your peace does, right? So peace and profit, if you're able to focus systematically and track it very nicely, you don't have problem at all.
Okay, stay with me. I agree with you, actually. I've got 2 daughters, so, I want them to hear you, actually. But Devika, for you, do you agree with this, actually?
I do agree, because women are respected, and we do have lots of credits, actually, wherever we go. And our approach is actually even more, positive and encouraging. And we are, women are like made for multitasking. We can manage lots of challenges in one go. So I always go with Hema. That's what.
I agree with you. Can you record this? I agree, and send it to my wife, actually. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
The question is to be analyzed in the different way. In the economy pyramid, the bottom slices, still women have no options and opportunities because of the patriarchal controls. When in the middle of the pyramid, they are permitted to go to office, have their all normal routine like boys. They can also go to everywhere and have some opportunities. I think the top 3 slices, I would in fact tell women are a bit above men.
Okay.
Look at the chief executive officers of all big banks. All are women only.
Yeah.
So if you look at it, you can't generalize this for the entire pyramid. If you are an entrepreneur, you are almost in the top 1, 2, 3 slice. You have a respect, welcome, and appreciation. I think I agree fully with these 2 ladies if they have sensed that. But having said that, as such, women have still a difficulty in the bottom of the pyramid.
Yeah, kind of agree with you.